Okay, so it is the night before Christmas. How are you, Dee?
I'm doing pretty well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Messed Up Podcast.
It has been a while, but the end of November and December thus far has been an extremely busy month. I was fortunate enough to fly down to Melbourne and be there not for the birth, even though I was there for the birth, but not the actual birth, but I was there for the birth of my first granddaughter. Mm-hmm. So my second grandchild, and I was looking after my first grandchild whilst the birth was happening in the hospital. So it was an amazing experience, but it was also amazing to be there for that. It was
enriching.
Yeah, it was enriching, fulfilling. Felt like in some ways come full circle from some situations that I've been in my life.
Yeah.
And it was terrific to be there. And the mum and dad and her brother, who's 3 now, it was amazing to be there for them, with them, and to share the occasion.
An exciting little moment.
Yes,
in your life.
yes. And, I basically got off the plane, Ubered it to their home, and from there, within sort of 45 minutes was in the hospital with my daughter, sharing the journey sort of 4 or 5 days beforehand. So she was there for a checkup, and it was just really fulfilling to be there, with that experience. And it took me back to, the births of my 4 children.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to experience all 4 births, and it was really nice to be there. So yeah.
And I bet they were super grateful to have you to look after the 3-year-old.
Yes. Yeah. And he's a super boy, and we get on really well. He's very clever. I think he loves me being there, and obviously I love being there too. So it's a great energy, and just to be part of their day-to-day routine is nice.
Must be so interesting for him or them at that age when they have another little human coming into the picture. It must be so extraordinary,
Well, I guess in some senses, he was there for the 9 months of the pregnancy. So there's an expectation, but then the realization sort of having, a little baby sister. And he was so good, so good. He wasn't, withdrawn or, jealous or felt like he was missing out on anything. He was just went about his usual activities, but when he had the chance, he was so gentle and sincere, and showed a lot of love for his little sister. So
adds a new bond, a strong new bond between everyone.
Oh, absolutely. It was an amazing experience. Yeah, a lifetime experience.
Yeah, that was one of the positives we've had this month. But obviously, being from Australia, or regardless of where you are, we've had a tragedy a couple of weeks ago. It was the 14th of December, I believe.
Yes. Not the first tragedy that we've experienced, but going back to Port Arthur, that was devastating, and there was very similar feelings. Feelings of this isn't Australia, this isn't something that happens here. But at the same time, it's a realization that life is precious. And fortunately, we are removed from that situation, and my heart goes out to all those people who aren't, who have lost loved ones, friends, because, there may have been lives lost, but it affects much more than obviously those people. Our thoughts and hearts go out to those people, but there are ripple effects. We start to question, our safety mentally. It affects people, people that are struggling with certain issues. These events can trigger other, the risk. There's associated pain and anguish involved in it all.
And this is a planned, targeted event that no one saw coming.
No, no.
I think it kind of shocked us. I know in some countries this happens every other week, right? But for us, it's quite an eye opener. But the question is, eye opening to what?
Yeah.
Because obviously we have pretty strict gun laws.
Oh, absolutely, we do. And I think, decisions are made to obviously limit the availability of weapons to people, which you can understand. But, there needs to be someone behind that gun who is willing to use it for the gun to have an effect. And unfortunately, I think people with hatred in their hearts and, be it racism, discrimination.
Yeah. Evil agendas,
yeah, outside of what we consider normal, and that's not religion-based or colour. It is something that is developed by individuals regardless of those, beliefs. And I think if there's people with that mindset, regardless of laws, they will do anything and everything to achieve what they desire.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different mindset to most of us, which is we're fortunate.
Yeah.
But I think we need to focus on the fact that these people have an evil agenda. And it's driven by hatred. And of course, these people aren't going to volunteer their ideologies, when they come to the country. And, if you look into the research, they've been here for a long period of time, and, as I said, there's been other incidents in Australia that have involved different styles of people, different, that have different beliefs. But in the end, it takes a lot of planning and preparation, and they're of the mindset that it's worthwhile. And, unfortunately, if someone wants to do something, we live in a society that has a freedom that opens that gate to them.
Yeah, we are a very accepting and welcoming country, almost to a fault. This is instances like this, and there's one or two people that have weapons or get their hands on weapons and then decide to use them in a way that hurts families and countries, and it's been heard around the world, right? They sort of ruin it for the rest of us in a way,
Well, yeah, they, as will happen in Australia, laws will be changed. There will be, tighter, stricter gun policies. There will be laws introduced in regard to hateful speeches and agendas. Now, I think it would be easy to say that, any country wants people to come to their country and they want them to assimilate. But I think at the same time, we need to accept that people from different nationalities, people from different countries add to our culture. And, there's many more great people from other, countries and nations and religions that come to Australia and add to the diversity and the good nature of Australia.
And although we can't exactly pick and choose, like we don't want to pick and choose like who and what, and it's hard to know what someone's intentions truly are. You know?
Like I said, they're not going to say, oh, and by the way, I have these thoughts that mightn't completely agree with Australia. Like I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, like the father's been here for 20 years, the son was born here, and then,
That's right.
Who was to know? And a lot of people like to say, that's what happens when you disarm your citizens, But I have the feeling that if we were all armed, there would be more instances like this, and we'd probably be a bit more numb to it than we are, you know.
Perhaps.
This would probably be a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not like a color or a skin or a race or a religion. It's people and their minds and the decisions they make. And maybe I'm naive, but I think the more guns you have, I mean, the more chance that someone's gonna commit a shooting or, you know,
even
do something crazy, have access to that weapon.
Yep.
So this is like obviously a tragic event, and we're very sorry to the Jewish community that this has happened. Sorry to everyone affected and the families.
It was on a day of celebration, you know, as well for Hanukkah. And so, you know, we just want to convey our thoughts. We truly believe that, you know, discrimination, racism, hatred is not wanted, and certainly not needed in Australia. You know, we've for a couple of hundred years now, we have been dealing with working on those areas. There's still plenty of improvement, obviously, because there's people that have been here for, you know, for those periods of time and you know, still feel as though racism is a daily occurrence for them. So, you know, that's bigger picture, broader picture.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of the beliefs, though, you know, have your beliefs. Of course, you're going to have your beliefs, but don't force them onto other people, especially not in this manner. Because, you know, what did those people do to deserve that, you know?
Yeah, no.
I was going to say before, obviously it's a tragedy, but I'm still so grateful to live in this country. Like,
absolutely. And, you know, when we say, you know, people from other countries, well, New Zealand had a
mosque,
devastating massacre in a mosque back in...
It was more recent.
Yeah, it was in Christchurch.
Yeah.
But, you know, there were
50-something.
51 people killed, and that was orchestrated by an Australian who had been in New Zealand for a couple of years. So it's not a race thing. It's not a religion thing. It's an individual or a group of people who have a mindset to cause harm and damage to others. It's very hard to stop that, but there needs to be triggers put in place that set, you know, alerts off, and you know, it's probably one of those instances where prevention is better than cure, because I don't know how you cure it, but we need to be aware of things, and you know, our intelligence in Australia needs to be a little bit more on the mark.
Yeah.
But as with all tragedies, there are some amazing stories that come out of them. One of those was Ahmed Al-Almed, who was the gentleman,
the hero,
who himself is from another country, who has made Australia his home.
Syrian, I believe.
And he put his life in danger to save others, which is...
And got shot. Yeah, well, he got shot for doing it.
Yeah, which is remarkable. So I think, you know, there's more good in the people that come to our country than there is bad, but we just need to try and minimise the damage.
Yeah.
And aside from being Australian and obviously having a, you know, connection with this tragedy, even though we're, you know, Australia's a big country, probably, you know, 1,500 kilometres away, but you still feel the ripple effects of it, obviously, if not, you know, tsunami effects. But one thing that we have in common with the two people that caused this massacre is we're father and son.
Similar age gaps too, I believe.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a similar age gap between myself and you, and just 5 years older, each of us. And we can't comprehend how a father and son could do this. But what we can say is, as a father and son, we have an extremely strong bond. Dylan has done things for me that I wouldn't expect of anyone else. And
you've been my father. You've obviously,
and
nurtured me through my
and
childhood and growing
so
up.
we have this
We have the bond,
link, this bond that is unbreakable. But we try and use it for good, and we do. And
seeing something like this where it's a father and son, but in such another world, really, in such another headspace, and just with an agenda that just doesn't fit into, it doesn't.
I can't fathom how.
Can't really put it in words.
I couldn't. I can't. It's not even. I can't even get close to the feelings that. It's devastating. Yeah, but I'm glad that we don't,
Yeah.
Yeah, we've both had anger issues in our lifetime. We've both had mental issues, coping mechanism issues, but we try and solve those, or sometimes try and destroy those within ourselves,
and channel them positively into society. And impact for the better, which is
too good for others.
Obviously not what happened here. So, okay, Christmas is around the corner.
Change of topic. Yes, as you can see, Christmas tree in the background.
Monkeys chilling there.
A few presents underneath the tree.
Yeah.
And it's sort of Christmas. For me, it triggers memories from years gone by, and I think Christmas is. You can never compare your adult Christmases to your childhood. Due to, I guess, the belief, the mystical element of Christmas, the fact that you probably get more presents than you actually have to give, which goes against the philosophy of Christmas. But for children, that's what it's about. Now, when I was younger, we used to have pillowcases that would be filled with presents, and they were Santa pillowcases. They're long gone now. I wish I still had them in some senses.
I recall using a pillowcase at some stage.
Yeah, you did. They
Much
might have
bigger
been
than a stocking, I must say.
Yeah, stockings. You can't fit decent presents in stockings.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously our bigger presents would be wrapped under the tree. But generally presents from Santa for our household, they weren't wrapped. So
that was as they were.
he put them in the pillowcase and then left, whether it be a bike or a larger item, they wouldn't be wrapped. And then the wrap presents were from your parents and others.
Yeah,
so
Santa was a bit lazy. He was busy.
He's got a lot to do.
Moving, yeah.
He's got a lot to do.
Yeah. He wishes there was a pillow in that pillowcase.
Yeah. I think as you get older, and certainly when you're a parent of children, there's so much enjoyment in, buying presents and wrapping them and seeing, your kids unwrap them and their faces. And so the dynamic of Christmas changes, and then you get a little older and there's still the enjoyment, but I guess your children have got to the stage where they mightn't have the beliefs that they did earlier in their lives.
Yeah.
So Christmas is
not quite as excited.
Yes, Christmas is a little different. But I was fortunate enough to be at my mum's house during the week and wrapped a present and put it under her coffee table because she doesn't bother having a Christmas tree at this stage. So it was the first present wrapped under the coffee table for her.
Oh, lovely.
So, yeah. And what about your Christmases, Dee?
My Christmases, one thing I think that's interesting is, and I'm sure it happens with everyone, unless you're just like spoiled rotten and buy yourself presents. But as you get older, when you're young, you have lots of little presents, or you have a couple of big ones, or and then as you gradually get older, that the presents have to adapt to you, kind of, And I think it's fun seeing what people buy you to like where you're at, and no matter what they give, of course you're grateful, right? Well, I am, but then as you get older, they kind of get less and less, but you still appreciate it all the same, and like as you get older, you spend more money and you you get less in return, I feel like.
Absolutely
Because you have
you
more
do.
like
yes
So I don't mind having a small little family at the moment, like a small little household at least, because I can sort of, not everyone has to get a present, if that makes sense.
Yes, I know there were times in my life where you'd buy Christmas presents for 20 people.
Yeah. Actually, it was like a list. And I forgot that person.
I really wish I could go back in time, because I think I'd reduce that list right down. It was unnecessary.
Just write Adam on all of them.
Just Kris Kringle, which is what we're doing this year. We're going to my sister's house for Christmas. Yeah. Which she puts on every year, and it's been a few years since I've been there.
Couples for
and
me,
a couple for Dylan, so it'll be nice to catch up with that side of the family. There'll probably be, 15, 16 people there.
Yeah, we do like a lucky dip, or like a,
so Kris Kringle, Secret Santa.
Yeah, you pick a name out, and that's the person you get, and everyone else picks a name and date. So you don't have to buy it for 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
You just have to buy for your person. I think that saves everyone a bit of money, but also adds a different element that wasn't there.
Yeah, so I think the fact that you don't know who's bought it for you.
Yeah.
But what I do find a little funny.
There's also a budget on it. So
there's a budget. So, most people will spend to the budget. Some people go over, some people maybe a little under, but there's a budget. And I won't be checking how much my presents were. But there's also a wish list, and that's what I find funny, because if there's a wish list and there's suggestions that people have put up for you to buy their presents, I don't know, maybe just keep your $50 and buy what you want, But no, but yeah, it's nice, and it'll be a good day.
Oh, so you think it should just be like they pick the name out, and then
you have to find which is hard sometimes, obviously, for certain people, but I think that's half the investigation and figuring out.
In another angle, maybe it's the only chance they get what they actually want.
Maybe,
maybe.
But I deliberately didn't buy what they wanted. No, I did. I did. Well, some of it.
Thoughts and prayers for my wife's mum at the moment. She's going through it a bit. She's been in hospital, and brief details, she was found on the floor for a while, and she's been in hospital, and she was very cold, 26 degrees or something. But on the up at the moment, which is great. She couldn't, she was asleep for like 4 or 5 days, which is quite scary. So we're fearing the worst, but hopefully, she's on the up and will be getting better. I'm just glad my wife was able to see her and being able to communicate.
Yep.
If not fully speaking, at least,
Yeah, so
she can support her dad and stuff like that.
So the mum's cognitive, she's aware. Which is a huge improvement.
Thoughts out to her.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers for all people out there who are struggling with their health at the moment.
It's a horrible time of year to be doing that.
As well as those in relationships who are struggling. It's a really tough time of the year to be going through that, because everyone's so happy and merry and it's festive. So if you're in a relationship, or if you're in even your own relationship with your own self. Our thoughts go out for you too, because it is a really tough time for people who are struggling. Christmas
not mentally,
is,
financially as well.
Yeah. And remember, it's the thought that counts.
Exactly.
And sometimes just being present is a present in itself. So
Classic. All right. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for your support.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for your support throughout 2025. And we'll go into 2026 with optimism and hope. And we will be more consistent with our podcasts, and we'll get stuck back into some issues and support and help. But everyone stay safe.
Yeah, look after yourselves.
And our thoughts are with you all.
Tell your family you love them.
Okay.
All right.
Merry
Cheers.
Christmas.
Bye.